There are budgetary woes on both sides of politics tonight. The government appears to be winding back its commitment to a forecast budget surplus of $3 billion by 2012-13. And the opposition's refusing to detail how it will find $70 billion in the budget to fund its promises. From Canberra, here's political correspondent Tom Eagleton.
Leaked documents show Tony Abbott wants to take a blowtorch to the budget, but he's not revealing where up to $70 billion of savings will come from.
We have promised the Australian people tax cuts without a carbon tax, but the quantum of those tax cuts and the savings that we will need to fund those tax cuts will be announced in good time before the next election.
The Prime Minister says the revelations put the opposition on shaky economic ground.
So I think they've got some questions to answer about how on earth they got themselves into this position and how on earth they're going to get themselves out of it.
But the Shadow Treasurer is making no apologies for the massive planned cuts.
It's a significant number, but I'll tell you what we're doing. I'll tell you what we're doing. We are going through the budget line by line, item by item. Finding 50, 60 or 70 billion is about identifying waste, identifying areas where you do not need to proceed with programs.
How ridiculous. $70 billion.
$70 billion lost to the Australian people.
That's more than 20 times the $3 billion budget surplus the government's predicted for the 2012-13 budget, one that needs a healthy increase in the tax take to become a reality. Lower economic growth predictions are making even that less likely.
It makes the challenge of bringing the budget back to surplus in 2012-13 more difficult. But it is certainly our objective to return the budget to surplus in 2012-13, and we expect to achieve that.
That word objective appears to be a step back from what's been an unqualified commitment to return to surplus. The opposition says it's another blow to the government's credibility. And so it seems each side is accusing the other of the same thing. As with most things in politics these days, a lot of the argument comes back to the carbon tax. Tony Abbott's direct action alternative is one of the things he'd have to fund whilst cutting taxes. There's also a suggestion he'd have to buy back carbon permits from businesses if he abolishes Julia Gillard's carbon tax.
I would say to businesses, if the carbon tax comes in, only buy the credits that you need for the life of the current government.
But amongst the division, there was agreement on one issue. Tony Abbott says he will support the right of farm owners to stop mining companies from coming onto their properties to look for resources without their permission.
He's adopting Greens policy, and I've been critical of Mr Abbott in this in the last few minutes, but where he takes on good Greens policy like that, I'll say wise move.
A welcome back from holidays for the opposition leader. Tom Eagleton, Lateline.